What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we put the real in reality. I'm your host, Pharaoh. We're joined by our wonderful co-host, Lisa Rose. Get
Yes, Mama Pharaoh, I'm here.
into the drag race coverage. That's where Lee is Lisa Rose and Pharaoh is Pharaoh Famous. So definitely get it that or whatever, period. But we're here today to talk about Total Drama Island, episode 4.
I wanna be famous.
Now, this is my issue with this episode. Why is Ripper still here?
Why is Ripper still here?
It's starting to make me upset.
Not
because I was
off.
I was thinking when it was him or Axel that was a fluke, and he will be gone the very next time. So the fact that he's still here is a clear
roasting marshmallows.
Problem. Define roasting.
It turned brown.
Define roasting.
And then he ate it.
Define roasting.
That man is nasty. Was Owen this nasty? Owen was pretty nasty.
No, Owen was apologetically now. He would toot and be like, "I'm sorry." Ripper is like, "This shit is funny. I mean, this is funny. This is not funny."
I'm not laughing with you. I'm laughing at you.
I'm not even laughing at you. I'm disgusted.
Honestly, I'm disgusted
from Inside Out 2 with my bonnet on. Shout out to Inside Out 2. If y'all haven't seen Inside Out 2, I will be promoting it for the rest of my life. Go watch Inside Out 1 first on Disney Plus.
Oh, so we changed on that.
We shouldn't do.
That's how we gotta be doing other stuff.
Maybe let's not promote this.
Imagine the Inside Out recap. You come in. I'm anxiety and I'm sadness.
That would be hilarious. Okay, so boom. We started the episode off, and Millie is talking to. Let me put these people up because it's a lot of people still.
Millie got Rex.
Millie and Priya are in the little girl's dorm and they're chatting. Chase comes in and he starts talking to them. And in the conversation, he brings up the fact that Emma's still mad at me that I put her in danger and she needs to get over it. And basically, Millie is like, well, no. You were definitely in the wrong for that situation, and they both start bickering.
Chase is a dummy, just in the clouds.
But he's just like a man.
I wish it was more Justin season 1 coded. I really enjoyed the Justin and Gwen storyline. Pharaoh is a Gwen hater. I don't know why I said Justin, girl. Boom. The Trent. He's so irrelevant. I actually hate that they made Trent.
He wasn't irrelevant. He should have been very relevant.
Well, that's why though. Like he becomes irrelevant in season 2 and 3. Like he had a storyline in season 2, but once they cut it, there's nothing else for him. And then we get to the world tour of it all. He's basically
he's not in world tour. He's not even there.
On Real World. See,
he's not even a player.
I thought he should have been on World Tour. And I actually liked his character. I hated the direction they took him in for season 2. But I liked what he brought as a character. Because none of the men character like that, I feel like they had Duncan. Like in the first 2 seasons, and then Alejandro, he came in World Tour. But none of the other men was like, I don't know,
affecting anything in the game really for the most part, except like Duncan and Harold, which is why I actually like Harold when I did my rewatch. But Trent, the issue with, or I think the reasons the producers didn't bring Trent back is because his archetype is the normal guy, and I think they felt like they didn't want a normal guy archetype because it's just too average. But he balanced it,
basically cracked in season 2, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and then they were like, "Oh, we're just not gonna do it." But he really balanced out, I felt, the rest of the cast very well.
The same way.
That's why season 1 was so real. Season 1 felt so real. Those characters felt so real because I feel like Trent helped balance them out, and then none of the characters were too flushed one way or another. And I think they're kind of trying to give that in this season too, because these seasons are pretty normal. Like Emma or Chase talking about what happened with him and Emma. This is pretty normal conversation. Honestly, rather than Sugar slapping Ella because Ella is literally singing because she's literally a Disney princess. Like, what's happening? She has birds.
Like, the only gimmicky type person I mentioned this in the first episode is Scary Girl, and I don't like that they don't give us more of her than just the Scary Girl. Like, her name is literally Scary Girl. I was like, everyone else, they have personality to their character. Like, you could be a real person on the street.
Yeah, and what I like about Scary Girl's gimmickiness is, one, that she's the only one, and two, it's like, not that this is realistic, because it's not, but I remember in middle school, not high school, in middle school, there were girls who, like, their personality was being like quotation scary girl.
Like
their personalities were literally being like, I pinch boys next to me and I don't like anybody and da 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 da. So it's like it's an exaggerated form of that, but hers isn't even as bad as I feel like Ella walking around with doves. Like, girl, what's happening? But anyways, Millie and Chase are bickering about that. Chase is clearly the normal man. If you're in a relationship or you're talking to a boy and you're getting remembered. If you're remembering him when you're looking at Chase, you need to let that man go.
Right.
If Chase is reminding you of your boyfriend, you need to break up with your boyfriend.
You know what I just realized?
Yes.
Millie and Priya are the only girls left on that team.
Yes, because Scary Girl just went home.
And there's only 5 girls left in the competition.
The girls are getting chopped out. 3 girls. That's actually insane. I didn't even know this. But yes, Priya's in the room and she starts to defend Millie. She defends Millie to Chase and she's like, Chase, you need to just get out because Millie knows exactly what she's talking about. Da, 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 da.
Priya was standing 10 toes behind her good sister.
She was standing 10 toes, which I was like, oh, okay. And basically Millie says, Priya has started to really, like me a lot. And she wants to be my friend. And this is when Priya offers Millie to be in an alliance with her. So Priya's here to play the game. Love that for her.
Because, her family has trained her to be on teledrama since birth, okay?
That's insane. Are they okay?
No.
And that's the problem. So she asked Millie to be in alliance, and Millie and her are now in alliance. She, in a way, she kind of very, I won't say aggressive.
Millie basically said no at first.
Yeah, Priya is very not forcing her, but Priya is very much so encouraging the idea. She's forcing her. Let me quit playing. She basically forced her to be in alliance. So Millie and Priya are now in alliance because Priya said so. So put a pin in that. Then we see at the mess hall, Chase and Emma, they talk, and Chase has this idea that Emma actually likes him. And I mean, he might be spilling about this one thing because he's basically like, you always thinking about me. And she was like, no, I was thinking about you because I wanted to make sure you got hurt. He was like, oh, so you're always thinking about me.
He clocking her tea a little bit.
And then he walked away.
Because all she talked about is him.
Yeah. That's all but that's the thing. It makes sense because I was saying last episode, like, you do like him still. All he did was like he messed up your brakes, so you was mad.
He almost killed her.
But that's the thing. It's like everything about him that you liked is still there.
And the only difference is he tried to kill. She likes, and that's the problem. She shouldn't have liked anything.
She shouldn't have liked him.
Is this the scene where Bowie was like, "I'll give y'all some room," and then he inched 2 inches over.
So, but yes, literally, he comes up. He's like, "Well, I heard everything that was said, and honestly, he might have a point because the best thing for you to do is maybe to just stop actually thinking about him." And she's like, "Okay," and then she tries, and she's clearly still thinking about him because in the diary room, she's like, "I'm not gonna think about that person anymore. I don't even know who I'm talking about anymore. I'm talking about Chase." But and it's like, girl, you need to get it together, lock in, because Emma, she could be a good player. If she would lock in, she's good at the challenges.
She's worried about Chase.
But she's so worried about Chase. Even during the challenge, she can't even focus on the challenge because she's like, do I need to spray Chase? Or is that going to make him think that I'm thinking too much about him if I spray him? Or do I need to not spray him because I'm going to think too much? Girl, win the game. Win the challenge. But anyways, we move. Priya and Millie, they're on the other side of the mess hall and they're talking basically like, we need another ally. So they go through the boys and they're like, okay, Damien and Ripper, they don't know what they're going on. You don't know what's going on, and Chase is crazy. So we just gonna have to go with the last option. This was a terrible idea. Scary Girl was not.
I honestly think like they should have tried Damien or Z.
Definitely Damien or Z. Like, I don't know what made them think Scary Girl was the best option, but they thought Scary Girl was the best option. And Priya is too scared to even ask her to be in the alliance. That should have told her that this was not the best option, baby. You can't run her. You can't make her do anything you want to do. You can't encourage her to vote with you just for being in an alliance. And then they couldn't even ask her to be in an alliance because when Priya tried to ask her, she was basically, she wasn't insulting her, but Scary Girl flipped that shit. Because Priya's like, look, I think you do really good at the challenges. Not that I didn't think you would do good at the challenges, but I think you did good, and I didn't think that was going to happen. And she was like, so you think I did good at the challenges because you thought I wasn't going to do good at the challenges. You thought I sucked. And it's like, what?
She said. And then Hezekiah came over and was like,
Hezekiah?
Oh, that's his full name.
Oh. And why did you call him that?
I don't know.
I love that name. That is cute. That is cute. Hezekiah.
Are you in the Bible?
It sounds like it. Might name my son that.
Oh, period.
Cute.
Named after Z from Teledrama.
I'm not gonna tell him that. He's gonna be like, "Now what the heck?" But Z goes and clarifies.
Not named after the Bible, but totally wrong.
That's actually terrible. Z clarifies to Scary Girl that Priya was in fact insulting her. And Scary Girl wasn't about it, period. They go to the challenge. The challenge is capture the flag, not the flag, capture the skull. So they have to capture the skull of the other team at the other team's base. And the other team has to try to stop you from capturing the skull, of course, naturally. This was a good competition because I felt like we got to actually see a lot of people's personality throughout this competition. And I really, really liked that or whatever.
Yeah, I like the little because it's a form of character development, and I like that they are giving out as much as possible within these 20-minute episodes.
Mm-hmm. So the Frogs of Death, every time there's a team challenge, I think the Frogs of Death are going to win.
They're locked in.
They're more strategic. They're locked in. The only challenges they won is because they were individual. Because for Caleb, it was the first challenge where somebody had to be the yeller and the two people had to walk out. And then for Nichelle, they had to go one by one by one. But for the two team challenges,
look at you clocking shit,
girl. For the two team challenges, Wayne specifically, and then also Raj, they really locked them in because, of course, they were on the team. They play hockey. So it really helps. Like, they kill it for the team challenges. Love this. Also, I really... hockey. Who? Riley. From Inside Out, you're terrible. But I love this team because it's like, I don't know. I just really love everybody on the team.
Even I do. I don't need any of them to go home.
It needs to continuously be the ferocious trout until we merge.
I wish Nichelle could have ate with them.
Oh Lord! Honestly, Nichelle and Caleb could have been here too. They shouldn't have eliminated nobody from this team. This should have been the team that just eats up the.
It should have been Ripper, Axel, Scary Girl, and Z out back to back.
And then Chase, and then we merge.
Basically. How about that? Merge with Damien, Ripper, and Priya, and Millie.
Honestly, Millie don't need to be here either because she the op. What's that
about? You don't know nothing about loyalty.
Girl, Millie done. Girl, we gonna get there. So, yes, Wayne and Raj, they come up with the strategy. And basically, they're like, the other team has more players than us. So, we need to toss the skull whenever we get it. When one person gets it, you need to pass it to the other person. So, that way we can confuse them and da-da-da-da. Came up with this whole big strategy. Doesn't work, but at least they came up with it. Really like that. On the other team, they're struggling to come up with a strategy at all. They have no
leader.
Yes, they have no leadership. They have no.
Priya, but I don't think the boys are going to listen to her.
Yeah, that's why I felt like voting out Axel was stupid. Not stupid, but because she was very emotional, and I get it. Yeah, but Ripper,
a good leader or a volatile one?
She would have been a volatile leader, but sometimes volatile leaders really help them. I remember Joe really helped her team on that season, even though she was very volatile, but it still helps because it's like at least somebody's leading. Because Ripper wanted to be a leader, and Ripper carries the challenges. I'm sorry, I hate to say it. He really is, because if they were going to win, it was because of Ripper. He was literally doing everything. He was defending and offensive. He was doing literally everything.
But he used the rest of them teammate to do it.
And that's the problem. And that's why I feel like they should have just had Axel, because Axel was only mad at Ripper. That was the only person that she was doing negative things to. Ripper is just selfish altogether. And that was the problem.
Yeah.
But anyways, we move. So they get pulled up on. They didn't have nothing going on good for them. So they're struggling. Priya and Millie try to go out and take the other people's flags, struggling to do that. Chase is there. Emma's trying to focus on Chase. It's a lot going on, honestly. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Ripper is eating it up for his team. He's making sure Wayne, Raj, and Bowie don't get there because they have these big old boulders that they can send down. So he sends one big old boulder down and it runs over Wayne. And then he's finishing another one down to run over Raj, and Bowie.
What? Not my man.
Bowie says, not my. Well, he doesn't say that because that's not where they at yet. But Bowie jumps and saves.
I love
Raj.
A slow burn.
And him and Raj, he's on top of Raj, laying down on top of Raj. And Raj and Bowie are like, oop. And then we get a Wayne diary room. Shout out to an ally.
This is so cute.
I love an ally because Wayne says, look, my best friend, I'm pretty sure is gay. And I just can't wait for him to tell me.
I live for that.
And it's so real because the friends know before the actual person.
The friends definitely be knowing.
True.
And that's the thing. But I love this representation in this type of media because it should be normal. Why would you stop being friends with someone because of their sexuality? And I also love Raj's POV of I'm not sure what's happening. I'm kind of confused. It's I just love that mean, people go through this in real life, and I like that it's here, especially teenagers. Mm-hmm. Like when you're growing up and you're not sure about certain things, you're getting older. It's like these are the times where stuff stopped making sense. So I love that there's media available that people would be able to watch and be like, "Oh, okay, that's what I'm."
That's what that is.
Yeah,
because honestly, you're spilling. Because if I had this in middle school or like something like that, maybe it would be I would be able to understand some of the stuff going on. Because when you're because little, contrary to popular belief, little kids are not thinking about sexuality, being gay, all of that. They're really not. So when those conversations come up in the family saying, don't do that, that's gay, or don't do that, don't try to be girly, and da 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 da, that's the only time they're even thinking of what you're talking about is when you're bringing it up. They're not thinking about that. So when I'm growing up, I'm not thinking about who I like or what I like or what's going on. I'm just walking around at the schoolhouse, minding my business. I feel like if anything, those comments I'm getting about you're gay or you're this or you're that would be a little bit more understandable if I'm watching and I'm seeing, oh, okay, this is something that exists. Because honestly, the reason kids probably don't think about it is because they don't even know it's existing other than it being bad. The only existence they know about being gay is that it's bad. Because that's all their parents are saying or the people around them are saying is like, oh, that's just bad. Don't do that. So seeing gay things in the media the same way you see straight things in the media, you'll understand that it's normalized. Because when I'm in middle school, I'm thinking, oh, I need a girlfriend, or I need to talk to a girl, or I need to have a crush on a girl, because that's all I see. And you're thinking everything else is just bad. And it's like, girl, that's
it also helps other kids to be able to deal with it, because most of the times people who are different get picked on because they are different. And the reason why being seen as gay is so different is because it's not normalized in places where people can realize what it is other than this negative thing that they're taught in their household. So like, yeah, it's really good. Like people need to see this to realize that this is normal and you shouldn't act differently because your friend may be gay or someone that you don't know, a stranger, is gay. Like they're people.
Mm-hmm. So while this is happening, Scary Girl is at first she's chasing MK because MK was sent as a distraction for Scary Girl, so the boys could get to the school, and then MK is able to dip and duck off, and then Damien pops out and he's like, "Oh, Scary Girl, we on the same team, we good," and Scary Girl starts chasing Damien.
For no reason.
Honestly, she's running this man out of the game. He don't even want to play the game no more.
He don't.
Because he has to worry about his own teammate literally killing him. She was talking about skulls earlier, and she was like, well, not Jeff. What's his man name? TJ? What is his man name?
Chris.
She's like, well, Chris, can I take any skull? And she's like looking at Damien's skull. He's like, why is she looking at my head? Like,
she's really specifically obsessed with Damien and making him scared. Like, it's so hilarious.
He's literally worried for his life. So he is very scared. He don't even want to be on the island no more. So they're not even playing the game. They're doing that. The boys have been retreated back to their location. They can't do nothing. So Emma's like, you know what? I'm going to try to find the skull. So Emma goes out and tries to find the skull. And then Ripper, for the ferocious trout, goes out and he tries to get to the skull. He sees that basically MK is messing with all of the shields. So there's no shields out there. So he just picks Priya up and uses her as a shield against a boulder. They got plunges stuck to her face. He don't give a dang.
He didn't give a damn how hurt she was. It was one period where she actually hit the boulder and her leg was crooked.
It's just too much. He didn't care.
Like, he didn't give a fuck.
So he uses her as a shield, but he ends up getting the actual skull until he gets hit, and then the skull flies out, and Scary Girl has the skull, and they're like, "Okay, girl, take it to Chris." And instead of taking it to Chris, she wants to go decorate it. So while that's happening, MK launches Emma up using the shield, sends Emma to the skull. Emma grabs the skull, and then she gets blasted all the way to Chris. So they end up winning.
MK was eating behind the scenes.
MK ate that up because she was using the shields to mess up the other team and using the shields to help her team win. And then when she got done and they had won, she went to her team and she was like, y'all, we ate that up. And they was like, we? You wasn't even here. And she was like, no, I was doing the shield. Girl, it's a whole setup. She's like, no, I was doing the shields in the background. And they was like, girl, anyway,
and walked off. And then he go, Emma, I knew you were helping. And she was like, well, thank you for saying that when they walk away.
When they left, I know for a fact, Emma better not let MK go home. If they lose and Emma just sits there and let them vote out MK because they think she wasn't doing nothing, that's going to make me mad. Because Emma, you know what's going on.
You know what's tea.
On the other team, Priya looks a mess. And she is like, he's just a terrible person. In reference to Ripper, she's like, we need to vote him off because he's a terrible person. He doesn't care about any of us. Da da da. Priya is mad, and Chase is basically like, I mean, are we gonna vote off the person who's a terrible person, but he almost got us to win?
But see,
and this is how I know Chase is a bad person himself. Because what you mean?
I remember when you asked how to ask to go home the first time. I was like, I'm pretty sure probably Ripper and Chase are just cool, and Z don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But this was definitely where you got to start locking in. I think Priya, and honestly, to her credit, Scary Girl was on the right timing. Because Scary Girl did vote with the Alliance. And I don't see any other reason why Scary Girl would have voted with them unless she was actually somewhat loyal to the grouping.
Yeah. But, well, mostly to save herself too, because she knew she was the other vote.
But exactly that type of thinking. It's like, okay, Scary Girl in the game. But like they definitely should have let another girl go because Damien's just voting himself. And I think that Ripper and Chase are obviously a duo as well. And they could probably get Z.
They should have went to Z. That's what they should. They should have went to Z to begin with at the beginning of this episode because Scary Girl wasn't a viable ally, honestly. And Z doesn't seem like he cares. So if they would have had Z's vote, well, they still probably wouldn't have had the votes because when we get to the marshmallow ceremony, the votes don't make sense because there's 7 people on the team. Damien is voting himself, and everyone knows he is. So that means there's 6 people left. The alliance is Scary Girl, Millie, and Priya, which is 3 people. And then the people not in the alliance is Ripper, Chase, and Z. So even if they all vote together, that's just a tie.
Yeah.
So when we got to the votes, Chris says, Scary Girl, you're out. And Priya's like, Millie, that don't even make sense because if the 3 of us voted together, there should be no way that she's going home. And Millie was like, girl, you know, Scary Girl, you don't know what she's going to do. You don't know nothing about what she's really going to do. You never really know. And it's like, Millie,
girl, she didn't even play it off that well. Priya just wasn't paying no attention. It's like, girl, where's your loyalty? Where's your loyalty?
That's insane to me. You're the op. And I don't get it because if you're trying to study somebody, study Scary Girl.
Yeah, and it just simply wasn't smart on her part. Like, they could easily put them in the minority if they can't get Z for this next vote.
Like, y'all are finna go home. So y'all either have to win as a team or you can maybe try to vote Damien because Damien's going to vote himself maybe, and then maybe you can get enough votes on Damien. But other than that, you're struggling basically. Now you got to struggle to try to make it to merge because you didn't want to vote with the Alliance. Millie, are you crazy? Girl, do not make me mad. And then y'all need to lose next time. But it's like now I don't want them to lose because I don't want Millie or Priya to go home. And I definitely don't want the other team to lose because I like everybody else on the other team. So now I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Child.
Can Ripper just go?
Please. I'm wondering when they're going to merge because it's 12 people left. And on the first season, I think they merged at like 12 people. There was way more people on the first season. So maybe they'll merge at like 10 or 9. So that's a few more rounds. That'll be interesting. At this point, I don't know who's going to win. Couldn't tell you. Everybody all over the place. Bowie has been the most like consistent with I got an ally. I'm going to play the game. I'm going to move forward.
Yeah, but his ally worried about Chase. But I think he has, he's making friends because him, Wayne, and Raj hang out a lot. Yeah.
And he's really cool with Emma. And no one hates him. It's kind of like the typical gay. Everyone kind of just likes the gay. They don't really they're not really mad. They don't really care. So he's the most consistent. Priya seems like she wants to play hard, but she got a bunch of flops on her team. I don't know what she's going to do. So
a bunch of tires, literally. Damien don't want to be there. Ripper is Ripper. Z is Z. Scary Girl was Scary Girl.
Chase, I feel like Chase and Emma are the typical types who could be good players, but they're too worried about each other.
Yeah.
So it's like, well,
maybe not Chase. Chase a little thick in the head, isn't it?
That is true. Emma though, I wish Emma. I want to see Emma without Chase. And then Julie is irrelevant, literally.
She's coming.
Who is she?
She's coming.
So is it like I'm just gonna chill and lay low?
Until we see what she's doing. We'll see. Her episode will come. And because from that point on,
she's just chilling.
When she gets in that bitch, she don't get out of it.
I guess we'll see.
Mind you, you'll see.
She can't be Heather's Ender when you were just not doing nothing for 4 episodes.
And I will say, now I'm looking at it like, damn, why was I saying Heather's Ender? Because she's really not doing anything in these early episodes. But you have to remember, I binged it when I first watched it.
Okay, so it really...
And this week by week process is like, ooh, it's really taking forever to get to it. But I'm telling you, Julie is that girl. Julie is that motherfucking girl.
I don't see nobody who, I guess Bowie has the potential of being like an all-star in general. But I guess
Julia knows.
Okay, we gotta get to it. I actually won't trust you. I want her to prove it to me.
Period.
Child. But we'll be back next week to discuss the next episode of Tom Drama Island Reboot. What, bitch? I said it right. And then we're also covering a bunch of other shows, so definitely get into those other shows if you want to. And thank you for keeping it real with the kingdom, girl. We out.